Freedom's the answer. What's the question? You're listening to Ernest Hancock.
It's more than a feeling. There's some actual flames. People are having their livelihoods taken away. Here we have people that have businesses. They're on the main street. They got rioters coming in, and then one thing that's different. We had in Los Angeles when this happened after the Rodney King trial, and people got angry and they're looting and rioting and so on. And of course, what happens? Police officers just back off. They're like, "Hey, man, let it burn itself out. We'll go over here." Who's protecting the property? Well, you have the Korean store owners with AK-47s on the roof said none shall pass here. So you're going, well, I guess that, what do you need an assault rifle for? Well, here's your reason. In Britain, a lot of the officers, it used to be as kind of a peaceful kind of, it's all good. Even the bobbies, there are cops there, they didn't carry firearms. Well, I think now they are. And the people aren't allowed to carry firearms. Well, so when you got thugs out there, strong young men with clubs and Molotov cocktails and whatever, and you're a store owner, you just, say goodbye. So how much does insurance rates go up because people aren't able to defend themselves or not? It's all about the numbers, statistics, and politics and the mindset. Here you have a monarchy that really has an ultimate rule. No, you don't know. Just ask them. They'll tell you all about it. And what happens is you're going, if we pass a law saying bad guys can't have firearms, nobody can have firearms because we feel safer or something. I don't know what the heck that's about, because guess what? Bad guys do what they want. Good guys can't protect themselves. Would the same thing happen here in America? We don't really know, and it depends by state. California, might as well be England, man. You're not allowed to have a firearm. Can't, yep. Well, some do anyway. But I'm going, what about Arizona? How much police beatings are going to be? How much looting is there going to be on here in Arizona, where you have unrestricted, even concealed carry? You got a gun? Yeah, whatever. We're taking AR-15s when Obama comes into town. I mean, this is a totally different mindset. Monday, I meet with the police department on whether they're going to be able to turn off cell towers and so on. We have demonstrations and such. And I know these guys for a long time, and I'm going, look, man, they know that they're safer when the citizens are armed. Everybody's more peaceful, and we might even got their back if they're acting in good faith, if they're doing their job. But that's not what's happening in England. So we're going to try and take a look at what might happen here, but you have to go state by state. Where would there be violence? Would it be New York City, Boston, in the state of Massachusetts, where gun ownership is not available, California? And when they say, oh, we need a national whatever, maybe some states don't need their help. So I want to talk to let me make sure I get this right. Murtaza Hussain, he's in Toronto right now. It was Toronto, right, Murtaza?
That's right, yes.
So your mindset, and we'll get into the philosophical bent. Now, if you're being published in Salon, I would imagine that you believe there is a role for government that should provide, I don't know, help us out here to understand. From your perspective in covering this, you're looking for the government to what?
Now, it's not so much I think that there should be a role for government to coddle people or to provide them every opportunity, but when you're going to cut social services in such a way, you should do it in a way that at least manages people's reactions and expectations. You can't just cut right away and then throw people out in the streets. What they're doing in Britain, they're doubling education fees, tripling them right away. Next month, you cannot be able to go to university anymore because your education fees will triple. And people will obviously react in a way that's angry. And it makes you question, when they decide to cut, because undeniably there's a need to cut spending, where are they deciding to cut? Are they cutting for the people who can't really respond, the people who actually live in the country, or are they cutting militarism and cutting things from their own agenda that they're pursuing?
Well, you got to ask, did they do it to create this type of violence? Did they know it was going to happen? Did they do it on purpose?
I think they, in their mind, they're so used to pushing over the lowest people in society, they never imagined this would come up. And now when you see Cameron, from the reaction, he's trying to push all blame for it not from his own policies, but onto the perceived moral failings of the British people. And he's actually saying that there's a moral problem with society, and my policy is not to blame. So I don't think they were deliberately provoking it, but I think that they're so shocked by the response that they don't know what to do, and they're a bit scared.
You know, my opinion is it's pretty simple. You should hold government to the same moral standard you would hold an individual. For them to come up and say, you know, they're stealing and rioting and looting and firebombing and this and that and everything while they're doing the same thing to other people that aren't even, you know, on their same part of the world, where's their moral standing come from? I mean, we're not bad and they are when they're doing exactly the same thing, but with a uniform and these people's money across the ocean. I don't understand the moral high ground that they're operating from. It's so hollow when they say these kinds of things. So I'm going, all right, here in America, we have this one candidate, this Ron Paul guy is up there going, you know what? Stop it. You can't even talk about even balance. Even if you did cut every single freaking program, it still wouldn't get us to where we need to be without you have to go after this empire thing, the war thing. And I have to ask you, from your perspective, what happened to the anti-war movement in this country? Where's this going? Around the world, what happened?
I think Ron Paul is one of the few candidates who's really honest about this, too, because they make it seem as though cutting the social spending is what's really bankrupting the country. Military spending is overwhelmingly dominating any social spending that's going on right now, and Ron Paul is one of the few candidates who's saying it because it's a dangerous thing to say. And the anti-war movement has become so... it's not really speaking to the real facts behind the issue. If you want to win people over about spending, you should bring up the fact that this out-of-control spending on defense and empire building is bankrupting the country. But the anti-war movement is not focusing on that. They're more focusing on just the human aspect of it, which is important, but it's less influential than you can win over people. There's a huge number of people in the country who are mad about spending. Give them the facts about it.
No, I understand your point, and you're right, but I'm telling you, man, I don't see the anti-war movement doing the humanitarian angle. I don't even see them. Where are they? What? You show me where the anti-war movement is anywhere in this planet. What happened to it?
They've been kind of marginalized and pushed to the fringes. They are there, and in fact, in next month there's going to be a citizen occupation of the Washington Mall to protest the Afghanistan war. But they don't get the same. They don't have the mass appeal that they have because it's been shown that going on the streets and protesting in these ways is kind of futile. Before the Iraq War, hundreds of thousands of people were protesting in America, but you never would have known it because the coverage was not there, and then the plans went ahead anyways. The feeling is people that the democratic process is being subverted and that's really going in the streets and protesting is not getting you results. And what happened in Britain, the people went in the streets, protested, hundreds of thousands of people peacefully, and when that got no results and the policy still went ahead, months later you had violence, you had rioting. Okay,
now that's one thing that we can talk about when we come back. I want to make sure that we, spend some time on what can we do, what should we do. The love-evolution, is alive and well out there. But what did they learn in the last election cycle? Big bad guys don't care what you think. So how can you starve the beast that is devouring you? What can you do as an individual to just step back and just let it fall? Well, the first thing you need to do is learn how to keep breathing in and out. Save yourself. We'll be right back.